Up next, we welcome Senator the Honourable Melanie Roberts-Rajman to address some other issues that are in the public sphere presently.
Good morning to the members of the media and to those who are tuned in via the various platforms. Now, I want to take a look at a few issues pertinent to Tobago, to the island, to the THA, to the people of Tobago, and touch very briefly on the Prime Minister's visit this Tuesday to Tobago. Now, I was invited to sit in the Assembly, and it was indeed a privilege as a Tobagonian, as the Tobagonian senator, to be present in the Assembly legislature. And as a Tobagonian, of course, I want the absolute best for my island and for my people and for the institutions that govern our development and our operations on the island. Now, never would I have imagined, and for most Tobagonians, never would we have imagined that the Prime Minister, on her first official visit to the island, would have squandered the opportunity that she was given to speak to the people of Tobago and use that opportunity on political rhetoric and on campaigning. And you see, what is concerning is that this is the type of divisiveness and disregard that we have seen driving the government's agenda, its policies, and its actions since they have taken office. We've seen where they've cancelled our Independence Day parade, labeling it as a PNM affair. We've seen where workers across the various sectors have been dismissed unfairly based on mere perceptions of being affiliated with the PNM. Now, indeed, partisanship is essential to any healthy and functioning democracy, but we must ask ourselves what happens when partisanship is weaponized in a way that actually erodes our democracy. And that is what we saw happening on Tuesday in the Assembly legislature. We saw a democracy and what little autonomy we currently have as a THA being eroded in more ways than one. Because beyond the misuse and abuse of the Assembly legislature to host what seems like it was a political meeting, we had a Prime Minister who stood there and said to the people of Tobago that pretty much the government doesn't intend to grant us autonomy. Instead, she spoke of this fair share model, this fair share project-based allocation model. And she declined to go into details. I don't know where this was ventilated. I don't know what the realities of this. I don't even know if it's something possible. It seems like all the years of effort, all the advocacy, all the input from brilliant, talented Tobagonians and Trinidadians alike into bringing Tobago further towards autonomy. All these efforts have been discarded and disregarded. And instead, now we're being offered some sort of subjective and seemingly impulsive, shady sort of arrangement that pretty much hinges on the good graces of whoever is in government, in central government at any given time. And I caution the nation, I caution especially my people in Tobago that this is a very subtle but deadly way of really forcing Tobago and Tobagonians to toe a particular line if we want to be treated with respect by the central government. It seems as if the UNC have their way, Tobago will be stripped of even the little protections that we currently have by means of the DRC's 2000 recommendation. Now, it's equally important to listen to what is not being said as it is to what has been said. And the Prime Minister said, no legislation is needed to give Tobago more money. And that is untrue. In fact, the DRC recommendation provides a range, an upper limit and a lower limit. To change those limits, you need legislation in place. And that's exactly what the Tobago Island Government Bill and the associated constitutional amendment bill was providing. That's what it was meant to do. It was moving our lower limit to 6.8% of the national allocation, and it gave the central government some flexibility and discretion to push our upper limits to give us an increased allocation. More importantly, what we need in Tobago is legislation that protects us from any administration that would want to deal with us, that would want to govern with dishonesty and with contempt. And one must ask the question, is it that the UNC does not want these expanded powers for Tobago legislated because once it's enshrined in the law, it becomes a legal right rather than a privilege that any government or any central government can just take away or dangle over the head of the THA or use to manipulate us? And the sad thing is that the UNC has mastered the art of the Trojan horse. They use flowery language. They like to use nice words and soft speech. And they pretend to come bearing gifts, when in reality what they are doing is imposing control mechanisms over the THA and over Tobagonians and how we develop our island. If the UNC-led central government was really about fairness and unity and equality, those are the words that she used when she spoke in the Assembly legislature on Tuesday. If she was really about these tenets, then I strongly believe that one of the very first matters that we would have seen on the legislative agenda would have been the matter of autonomy for Tobago. We've had all sorts of bills come through the parliament. We've had bills come through that allow persons with very little connection to Tobago or Trinidad to be able to claim citizenship almost in perpetuity. Yet, legislation that will guarantee us greater autonomy in Tobago to handle our affairs, to legislate on our own behalf, to take care of the little nuances that we have there but that might not always come to the attention of the central government, to ensure that we got an increased allocation. We've seen where there's no mention of any such legislation being brought to the parliament. And for me, for many of us in Tobago, that's quite concerning. It's highly, highly disappointing. I know as a fact that many Tobagonians across the political divide expected that on Tuesday we would have heard something about autonomy for Tobago. It's disappointing and it's disrespectful to know that nothing about that was mentioned. And while we're on the topic about fairness to Tobago, because during the political campaign that happened, the campaign meeting that happened at the Assembly legislature, some very unfair, unfounded, and false accusations were made that the People's National Movement, especially when they're in central government, do not care about the people of Tobago. I am a Tobagonian. I was born in Tobago. I was raised in Tobago. And I will die in Tobago. And I can stand here very proudly and say to this room and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago that the People's National Movement has always collaborated with the THA, with the people of Tobago, and has always ensured that they demonstrate a firm commitment to the people of Tobago in the way that they operate. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So I'll give a few examples. Let me start from Tobago East and then come all the way down to Tobago West. In the East, under a PNM-led central government, we would have seen, what should I call it? An era of development, maybe that's what I can call it, of excitement and of development. We saw brand new Roxborough Hospital, state of the art. Is an excellent hospital. It's a beauty to behold. We have persons coming from even Tobago West to get services in the Roxborough Hospital. We have persons coming from Trinidad to receive services, attend clinic at the Roxborough Hospital because of the quality of the service, because of the efficiency of the service that they get at the Roxborough Hospital. The staff there, they're well trained, they're courteous, and Tobagonians are all, we're proud, we're very happy of our Roxborough Hospital delivered by the People's National Movement. We have the Roxborough Fire Station, services Tobago East and the North Side, where I'm from, in Tobago. We have the Roxborough Police Station as well, also redeveloped by the People's National Movement. Now, we have the Speyside Secondary School, we have the Mason Hall High School, we have the Goodwood High School as well, all delivered by the People's National Movement. Now, let me move down to the west. We have the Shervan Police Station down on Shervan Road. Again, state-of-the-art, well-functioning, well-staffed police station. We have the Cove Estate, which houses the Cove Industrial Hub. And that allows for economic diversification. That's where our manufacturing sectors, where it operates. Down there, we also have the dual-powered electricity generation plant at Cove. Now, for us in Tobago, at one time, we used to have electricity issues. That's something that we know. That was our reality functioning in Tobago. That is something of the past. We have a very steady supply of electricity in Tobago. We have a very reliable supply of electricity in Tobago. As a matter of fact, when electricity goes now, people are shocked. They're like, wait, what's happening? Because it's such a rare occurrence to see electricity going down in Tobago. We have the landing of a $1 billion natural gas pipeline and natural gas processing facilities that was done in collaboration with the NGC, also in the West, Tobago West. All right, we have the Scarborough Hospital functioning, some mismanagement under the current administration in TPP, but nonetheless, we have the hospital there, and soon enough that will be fixed. We have our fast ferries. Now, for us in Tobago, inter-island connectivity is a major, no longer an issue, but it's something that is always a concern for us. We need to be able to come to Trinidad to access services. We need to be able to come to Trinidad to do business. And then, of course, there's the domestic tourism that we get on account of Trinidadians coming to Tobago. Under the People's National Movement, we have these beautiful, luxurious, convenient ferries where we see on a weekend Trinidadians after work, they drive their cars onto the boat and they come to Tobago and they enjoy our beaches or restaurants or bars or flora or fauna. And then on a Sunday, again, they return via the ferry to Tobago, to Trinidad. Just a few weeks ago, we had Tobago Carnival and it was the same thing. The Port Authority added additional sailings, and in no time, as soon as those sailings were added, they were sold out. And we had a large numbers of Trinidadians coming up to the island, contributing to our economic development, of course, up there, participating in our culture, adding to what we do in Tobago, enjoying our tourist and tourism product, all on account of the convenience, the efficiency of the fast ferries, again, delivered by the People's National Movement to the people of Tobago. And then let me come all the way down to Crown Point, and this one is really the crown jewel. The brand new ANR International Airport. It is a sight to behold, and for those of you listening and for members of the media who haven't been to Tobago to see it, I encourage you to go have a look. It really is something to see, and we in Tobago, regardless of political affiliation, we are proud of it. We are hopeful, and actually we're quite excited to have it open. We've been crying and begging and asking the central government when they're going to operationalize it. I'm not sure of the political nitpicking and football that's going on with that, but we're hoping that very soon it will be up and running. So these are just a few of the major developments, and there are many, many to name. We could sit here for maybe weeks if we were supposed to really list out, but I just wanted to name a few of the major commitments, collaborations that we have seen happening between a PNM-led central government and the Tobago House of Assembly. And these collaborations happen regardless of who was in power in the THA, might I add. It was done for the people of Tobago in our best interest to ensure that our island functioned in an efficient and effective manner. Now, there's one other issue that we're grappling with at the moment, and that is water security. It's something that we have happening on the island right now, especially persons in Southwest Tobago, or hoteliers, or guest house owners, restaurants, they're all complaining. And I just want to touch on even some of the strides that would have been made by the People's National Movement before leaving office earlier on this year. Now, over $200 million would have been spent on a variety of small, medium, and large projects that undoubtedly did improve the supply of water across the island. the Hillsborough Dam up in the east that was desilted, the construction of the new Goldsboro water treatment plant. It was started, it was a work in progress when we left. The construction of multiple booster stations around the island. And then pipeline works. I remember this was a major and very exciting project in Tobago. I think this was done in last year, 2024, because it was the buzz. Everyone was talking about it. This major pipeline project that took place to boost water supply in Crown Point and these surrounding areas, so your southwest areas. And then, of course, there were plans that were in place to construct a water treatment plant in Charlottesville. Now, during the Prime Minister's visit on Tuesday, she announced intentions to construct maybe 3, it was very kind of unclear, but about 3 desalination plants in Tobago. But she failed to go into any details, so we have not seen any sort of sustainable or comprehensive plan for this. As far as I'm aware, WASA does not and has never owned any desalination water treatment plant. WASA does not at this point in time have the internal skill sets to manage any such plant. So the people of Tobago, what we are asking is that the Prime Minister and the Minister, I should say, address us and let us know exactly what the plan is here with regards to these proposed desalination plans. Is it that Tobago is going to become caught up in some debt spiral where the government, similar to what exists in Trinidad right now, where the state uses these take or pay contracts and purchases water that can't even be funded properly by the private operators that are operating in Trinidad right now? Is that the same model that's going to be brought to Tobago? Is it that you're going to be increasing water rates in order to pay for this? We just need some details. What is happening here? Now, I would say this also. If the government really cares about our development, and this is one of our major issues, and it really shouldn't be used to play political football. It should be something that is addressed and addressed very quickly. I would propose that the UNC-led central government continue with the plans that were already in place. They are sound plans, they are sustainable plans, and they are plans that can bear fruit. I would urge them, I would encourage them to continue to execute these plans in a sustainable manner without burdening taxpayers any further, without going into any sort of further debt, and without mortgaging the future of our children. Now, in closing, let me reiterate this. Tobago has always been a priority for the People's National Movement. The evidence is there. Just come around Tobago, look around, and you will see it. The PNM's commitment to the people of Tobago goes beyond the silly sound bites and the low jabs and, you know, the nice empty flowery talk. We have delivered well, we have delivered consistently, and we have delivered sustainably. And actually we have delivered responsibly. And whether in government or in opposition, rest assured that we, the People's National Movement, will continue to safeguard the well-being of the people of Tobago, of my people. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Senator Roberts-Rajman.